Hey everybody, it's Betsy. Welcome back to ME, My Hook and I. That's right, ME for myalgic encephalomyelitis, but you can say me, my hook and I. It doesn't bother me. Either way, it was a play on words. Wow, was it a train wreck of a week? And I really wanted to use a different word. And the word show. It was a poop show of a week, guys. I'm glad to be here on the other side of it and healthy for multiple reasons. I have props and a story today. I have finished objects. I have my knit crate. I have works in progress, and I have a little bit of story time. And if you are, if blood scares you, you might not want to hear the rest of this story. If you don't like guts and gore, you probably wouldn't have subscribed to my channel because we talk about my chronic illnesses and crochet. So here's a story about my chronic illness. Those of you who have been around for a while know that I have a port in my chest. This port gets accessed via a needle. This catheter runs fluids. I'll go into that another time of why that's important. But Monday, I had this, this is the needle. I have props today. This is a clean needle, guys. I am sacrificing this for the demonstration. All right, so if you're new here, that goes into the port and it has this catheter that hangs off of it. And normally you hook this catheter up to a bunch of tubing. I didn't bring that with me. A big tube that goes to a bag of fluids, right? And then when I get done with my bag of fluids, I cap this off, like so these are connected. I cap this off with a green cap, and then it just hangs there until the next time I'm gonna be accessed. I usually get fluids every other day. Somehow, I'm sitting here crocheting on my lovely Christmas blanket, which I'm gonna show you later in case somebody fast forwarded and doesn't want to hear this story. I'm crocheting. Everything is fine. The reason this little guy is important is because he's a one-way valve. So like you see that blue guy in there, he's kind of like a rubber stopper. And it helps in case you forget to lock this little guy. Do you see where this is going? So as long as you've got this basically check valve hooked in, then you're not gonna bleed out your line. I'm crocheting. As far as I know, everything was tight and secure. I have literally never had a problem with my line. And all of a sudden I'm like, why is my shirt wet? Here's the thing, y'all. My child is 7 years old, and the feeling that I was experiencing, I was like, are my boobs leaking? Mind you, my boobs have not leaked in like, I don't know, a good 6.5, almost 7 years. So I knew that was probably not right, but I was wearing a dark green tank top, a sweater, and some pajama pants. And I did not immediately recognize what was going on until I realized there was red all over my sweater and my favorite pajama pants. And you would think that my first reaction would be like, oh, clip it off, Betsy. Stop bleeding. Thankfully, somebody was home. Stephen was home, my husband. And he knows, like, if I go, oh, there's usually something wrong with my line. Like one time when I snapped it on the door and it broke and this whole bag of fluids was gushing and I was like, oh no! But at least at that point, like, the line broke, but the check valve was still there, so it's fine. I just lost, you know, maybe a couple cc's of my liter bag. This time, I have no idea how long I was dripping blood out of this, and I guess the adrenaline surge of it, because I don't know how I stood up after that and like stayed up, because part of my illness, it's called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which means when I stand up, my blood pressure goes down, my heart rate goes up. And usually if it's triggered with too much of a jump, then I hit the floor, passed out. So I think maybe it was just adrenaline because I have low blood volume to begin with. That's part of the reasons fluid also helps me so much, is it? Anyway, guys, I had to de-access, and that was the day I was accessed. So it was nowhere near time to change my needle. I had to strip and get a bath. I have no idea of telling you how much blood I lost. Stephen kept saying, well, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And I was like, okay. And then later, as I'm, getting woozy and starting to feel really terrible, he's like, well, I mean, it was a fair amount. So then I had to get out, and mind you, taking a bath on a normal day is just exhausting. Losing blood, I feel weak when I have blood drawn from vials, and this was more than vials of blood. I mean, it wasn't like a quart or a pint of blood. Well, I don't know. I don't think it was. Anyway, we got it capped off. Then I realized I had to be re-accessed because I didn't flush the line after blood came through it, and you don't want a blood clot. It was a hot mess, all right? I felt like total crap, but I thought, I'm just gonna do an extra bag of fluids, so I can do 3 bags a week. I usually do that every other day. I was like, I'll just do another bag of fluids tomorrow to try to replace what I lose. And then we get a phone call Tuesday morning that somebody we know that helps us and comes into our house regularly, it's stated in they knew that they should not come if a member of their family had an outstanding COVID test. But they thought it was just a cold and thought there was no way it could be COVID. And turns out it was. And she was at our house the day before. I'm sorry, I've been trying not to use genders in case people know. Oops. Yeah. So Sarah, my daughter, many of you know if you've been on this whatever journey, goes up to Knoxville occasionally for our parents to teach her for school. And we had to just she was supposed to come home Wednesday. We had to call and make sure our parents on both sides were okay if she stayed up there, because we had to sit around and wait whether or not we got COVID. I have a friend who works for the CDC, and she was like, well, I'm sorry. See my new toy? The longer this person goes without experiencing symptoms of COVID, the less viral load that person had when they saw you. So if that person can go 48 hours without any new symptoms, then it's probably just a close call. Obviously, it is now Friday. I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm getting major anxiety about it. I survived I'm putting this in the Sharps container. I survived the blood loss. I felt crappy all week. And the thing is, my crappy symptoms are the same symptoms as COVID-19. Like, my autonomic nervous system is broken, so I can randomly run a fever whenever, and if I have something that causes a flare, like blood loss, it can trigger all of that. It can cause when you have autonomic nervous system dysfunction, it's called dysautonomia, and it can mess with anything your body is supposed to do automatically, like breathing. So I started having a hard time taking deep breaths. Of course, I lost a lot of blood. Who knows if that was COVID or not? My symptoms mirror a lot. And then that's been this whole thing about long COVID, is it looks exactly like ME/CFS and POTS, and they're starting to call that dysautonomia for these long COVID patients. So mainly we had to just sort of watch Stephen and see how he developed and double check that I wasn't experiencing anything profoundly new. So it is now Friday. We think we're in the clear because that person whose husband is sick, shoot, I used genders again. Anyway, he's the only one that's sick in their household, and that person's doing fine. So we think we're fine. We're finally getting my kid back on Saturday. And it's been like a stress crochet kind of day because Thanksgiving is coming up. And like all the hospitals are getting overwhelmed. And while we're not traveling, obviously, we're not doing Thanksgiving with any of our family. Some of our extended family is. And then it's like when it's a mess, guys. It's a mess. Can you tell? Like I am starting to get anxious just talking about it. So it's 10 minutes in. Let's do some yarny talk, shall we? Okay, so this week I just finished this hat today, actually. This is the Hat for Science by Kim Worker, and I wanted to do it out of my Premier bobbin yarn because I felt like it looked kind of like a peppermint or a candy cane or holiday, and I have a little pom-pom to put on top that I haven't attached yet, but isn't that cute? I'm really digging it. The other thing I got to do this week to ignore my problems was pattern test for the purple Yarnivore, otherwise known as Trish. She has a YouTube channel. I will try to link below. She also has a paid pattern for this. So I made this cute little hat, and I think her version doesn't call for the yarn changes. I just realized after this first row of baubles that I was gonna run out of this pink yarn if I did the whole thing solid. So I mixed it up. But it doesn't look that flat on my head. It just does on my styrofoam guy. Anyway, it's actually quite cute on my head. So I like it. So go check out her channel for that. I'm gonna put my Christmas hat back on though. I think this is the first time you're seeing my advent calendar. So I got my advent calendar strung up. So it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. So I will show you the blanket that I was working on. You know, it wasn't until I was in the bath washing my body off that I was like, oh, the blanket, not the blanket. And he's like, don't worry, you didn't get any blood on it. It's fine. Oh, thank God, not the yarn. So I think this is gonna turn out really, really pretty. This pattern is Briar Rose from Hooked on Sunshine. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep bumping my new toy. Oh, I'm so sorry. My microphone. So Hooked on Sunshine, if you want to learn lots of different decorative stitches, if you're a newbie crocheter, she does a video series for every single one of her patterns. And while her patterns can be expensive, like more than a couple dollars sometimes, they are so worth it because you usually get like this huge, I wish I had it here, detailed with lots of pictures, lots of explanations of what the stitches are and everything. And this, after you've gotten the middle done, is actually a repeat from here to here. Yeah, from here to here. It repeats the rest of the blanket after about like this round. The whole thing starts to repeat. And it's one of the first blankets I ever made, and it's like a comfort pattern for me because I've kind of memorized it at this point. I don't have all the stitch counts memorized, but like it's a real mindless, watch a Hallmark movie, work on a blanket project. I love it, and I can't wait to finish it. Going to be very fun. Also, I'm on a hat kick. This is some yarn that I got, I think, was it last video or 2 videos ago, that Jedi Dragoon sent me. A big old box of yarn. And I have a blue streak in my hair right now. That was a highlighting accident that I covered up with blue, but it looks awesome with my new hat. So it's a slouchy hat, but I made it on my knitting loom. And oh, that goes great with my outfit. Why did I wear the red one? Well, the red one is festive. That's why. And the other work in progress, I really haven't made much progress on this week because between pattern testing, this just, I don't know, my brain, this is a sweater. It is the Velvet Cardi sweater. I've talked about it before because I made my daughter one out of chunky Karen yarn. This is that green velvet ice yarn I got. That's this beautiful color green. Yes. So this is the armhole. I'm not done. At this point, it starts rounding off, which is part of what makes this cardigan so darn cute. But my brain just, you know, between everything that happened this week, did not want to count. It was like all I could do to keep up testing with this pattern. And I think they both whipped out, like, there was, well, Trish obviously was making it, and there was one other pattern tester, and they were like whipping 2 and 3 of these out a day, and I was like, I'm going slow, guys. So anyway, this is the front panel, and then there's your other armhole. This will show how rounded it is. So you get this nice rounded corner on the bottom, and she eventually does ribbing all the way around the neck and around the bottom. And then you seam up the shoulders, and then just you do the you do the sleeve connected to this. You know what I'm saying? You don't do the sleeves and then attach it. So it's actually a really easy sweater, and the rest of it is really easy. It's just this particular part with the curve and splitting for the armhole requires counting and thinking. So I had to pause where I was at. Hopefully I'll be able to finish it next week. And then, last but not least, we have our knit crate. And guys, poor knit crate. I feel like they're getting beat up on because they're having issues with their supplier, right? Supposedly all the hurricane stuff in Miami. I don't want to say supposedly. You know, it's 2020, guys. They're just having a rough time. So it took them a while again to get their yarn from the supplier. I know people are still waiting on their knit crates, even though some of us are getting them. They did. Ooh, yay! They gave me the regular version, so I got my book this time, and I actually chose to switch to the sock crate instead of the normal crate for this month because I just wanted to see what that was like, and I was very pleasantly surprised that I actually got the sock crate because, to be honest, there's such a hot mess over there, guys. Oh, I'm sorry, knit crate. I'm sticking with you. I love your stuff. You're just having a rough go of it. So, I love my yarn. Dun, dun, dun. I got the colorway I wanted, which made me super excited. I love the purple and the gray. So this is the sock yarn one. It is 60% superwash merino, and boy does it feel like it. It's delightful. 20% alpaca and 20% nylon. There is 400 yards in this bad boy. I'm digging it. And it had the, so here you were either gonna get 4 of these mini skeins from the regular crate or one of these, and honestly I would have been happy with either color. They're gorgeous in the sock crate. So it says, this year each of our crates has been curated in collaboration with some of your favorite influencer. So this week was Vincent Williams from Vesuvio's Crafts. So let's see. So here were the different colorways, and honestly that would have been cool. I wouldn't have minded a knit crate and a sock crate this month, but I'm happy I chose the sock crate. And then there's a better, I'm just super happy I have the book. I don't know why, I'm just particular. I like it. I love the patterns in it. I don't knit obviously, but I love, you know, anyway. I want to do these socks because they look doable, even though they've got a funky heel. So that's their crochet socks. And this was there's a cute bag pattern for their mini skeins. And I mean, isn't she the cutest? This is knit, so I'm not gonna make it, but cute. And then there was like a knit graph for, yeah, that sounds super complicated to me. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like that would be really hard. Oh wait, maybe this is crochet. Wait, was I wrong? Oh, it is crochet. I thought, why would you not make that hat in crochet? It would be so much easier. But you know, I don't knit, so it is crochet. I'm telling you all, it's been a week. The brain fog, it's real. Anyway, there's a better picture of the sensible socks. So I'm gonna knit myself some fuzzy socks. And y'all, okay, bless Knit Crate's heart. That's what we're gonna say here in Georgia, because normally you get a really cute stitch marker or something to go with your skein, like, or just a little something. And I feel like this is another one of those issues where their supplier for their stitch marker or whatever did not come through, and they were like, oh crap, we finally got our yarn in from the supplier and now we don't have our secondary stitch marker thing. What are we gonna do? And they're sitting in a staff, this is how I imagine this is going, and they're sitting in a staff meeting and somebody goes, wait a second, we have those mini promo flashlights from the Christmas party 2 years ago sitting in the storage warehouse. Oh joy! Oh, it doesn't even work. Oh, Knit Crate, I'm sorry. Oh, I hit my mic again. I mean, guys, you might want to just give them a second chance when 2020's over, because, like, really? Oh, it did work earlier, but that's just hilarious. Oh, we're back. This is the story of Knit Crate's life right here. And we're back. No, we're not. Your stuff's gonna be late again. We're sorry. Poor Knit Crate. Anyway, it was a good month. I stand by you, Knit Crate. I see you. I raise my 2020 glass and say I'm sorry. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking with me through my awful story at the beginning. Please do not travel for Thanksgiving. Make this the year that everything was different and make that your story. Stay safe, stay well, don't expose each other, and I'll see you on the other side of the holidays. I don't know, I might see you before then. Anyway, take care.